All right, so we learned a couple cool chords. Let's learn a couple more. C6 is the easiest chord in the world. When you hit your 4 open strings, that's a C6 chord, also an A minor 7 chord. But today we're going to look at it as a C6. So if you did a chord progression like D minor, G7, C6, that's kind of jazzy. C6, great chord. Harkens back to an older era of music, the early 20th century and mid 20th century, where 6 chords were used a lot more. We started not hearing 6 chords so much in music once rock and roll hit in the 50s and beyond. The 6th chord kind of took a back seat in popular music, that is. But way back when you had songs like Mac the Knife and La Vie en Rose and songs like that, those certainly use 6 chords, and lots of other kind of jazz standards from back in the day. So different, harkens back to a different era, and it's a different sound, but it's beautiful. C6, as opposed to just plain C. As cool as C is, it's not very jazzy, but C6 is a little more like the Great American Songbook. Alright, so C6 is very easy. That's not a problem to play. Let's look at some other chords that have something to do with jazz here. Well, there's C major 7, which we learned earlier, and G6, which we also called E minor 7. We already talked about A9. Let's talk about B flat major 7. This is a great one. Some of you, a lot of you, probably have trouble with just playing B flat. I hear a lot of complaints about how hard this chord is, and it is a little bit challenging. 3, 2, 1, 1. But you know, if you want a jazzier sound, get rid of that bar that makes it so difficult and leave your A string open, and that gives you 3, 2, 1, 0. That's a very jazzy chord. Let's put that into a context. Let's do C minor 7, that bar chord I talked about earlier. Don't worry if you're a beginner and you're not into bar chords yet. That's okay. You can skip this part, but just try to catch up with us when we do our B flat major 7. Surely anybody can do that. That's a pretty simple chord to do. So C minor 7. Let's do an F9, which is 2, 3, 3, 3. And if you can't do F9, that's all right. Just do an F. Plain old F will work, or F7 perhaps. And then B flat major 7. So here's our chord: C minor 7, F9 or F7 or plain old F, and then B flat major 7. Here we go. Very typical jazz 2-5-1, which I have explained in other videos about why is that the 2 chord, was that the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 1 chord, etc. Today we're not going to get into all of that. We're just going to enjoy these chords for what they are. So you might have noticed I did one little thing to my F9 chord. Not only did I do F9, for those of you a little more advanced that can use your pinky to do things and to stretch, I added a 13th to that chord. I added the note D. That's a really cool chord, F13. Extremely jazzy. Real kind of modern jazz sounding, late 50s modern jazz and beyond. So that's what I did, if you were wondering what I did with my pinky just then. So I won't have to tap this out. I'll just explain it to you. Stuck my pinky out to get that beautiful F13 chord. All right, let's see. There might be 1 or 2 others I can show you today. Yeah, certainly. So when you take a bar chord, like say a B7 chord, if you're already into this bar chord B7 here, that by itself is a cool chord. We could use that. Maybe we could do like E minor to B7. B7 by itself is pretty nice. Nothing wrong with that, but maybe you want something a little fancier. So B9 is the way to go. To turn a B7 chord into B9, all you have to do is take your 2-3-2-2 B7 chord and make it 2-3-2-4. Stick your third finger down there on the 4th fret of your A string, and voila, it's a B9 chord. So that's a little more sophisticated sounding. It's the difference between just straight E minor and B7. And E minor 7 and B9, like this. Just slightly edgier, has a little more dissonance and tension in it, and therefore kind of to our ears sounds more jazzy. And so that's what it's all about when you're trying to learn ukulele jazz. Yeah, you have to know the rhythms, the strum, you have to be familiar with the tradition and swing and just the history of it and the vocabulary, but you have to know a lot of chords. You do have to start to go beyond regular major and minor chords and start to get more into 7s, 9s, 13ths, minor 7s, etc. So hopefully that helps you with a quick crash course on ukulele jazz chords. I will leave links down below to chord diagrams so that if any of this was mystifying, you'll be able to see nice chord diagrams of this stuff and catch up on it. There won't be any tabs, you know, I'm not going to get too specific because all of that was spontaneous. But I will at least give you chord diagrams so you can really study these and practice them and get them together. All right, ukulele people, hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, be sure to click that notify bell, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye.